Imagine, if you will, having the power to regrow a lost arm or leg. Sounds crazy, right? Like something out of a comic book.
It does, but what if I told you we're getting closer to understanding the secrets of regeneration, thanks to creatures like salamanders who can regrow entire limbs?
It's amazing, isn't it? And that's exactly what we're diving into today.
We're going to unpack a fascinating research article from 2007 that really shook things up in the field of regenerative medicine.
The study, by Adams, Mossy, and Levin, is titled H-pump-dependent changes in membrane voltage are an early mechanism necessary and sufficient to induce Xenopus tail regeneration.
Catchy, right?
Well, we'll get into the details in a bit. It was published in the journal Development, and it all centers around some really clever experiments using Xenopus laevis tadpoles.
Ah, yes. Xenopus laevis tadpoles, those little creatures are like the rock stars of regeneration research.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
Their ability to regenerate their tails makes them the perfect subjects to study if we want to figure out how to potentially trigger similar processes in humans.
Exactly. And what the researchers found in this study was a complete game changer, really challenging what we thought we knew about how regeneration works.
So genes, right. We always thought genes held all the secrets to regeneration.
Right, like they were the instruction manual for the whole process.
Exactly. But this research, it kind of flipped the script.
It really did. It showed that bioelectricity, the electrical signals within living things, while those play a much bigger role than anyone expected.
So it's not just about having the right genes, it's about the right electrical signals too.
Exactly. It's like, imagine a symphony orchestra. The musicians are like the genes, all the elements are there. But they need that conductor, the electrical signals in this case, to tell them what to do, when to play, how to make it all come together.
I like that. So what's conducting this regenerative orchestra? What did they find was creating these bioelectrical signals?
Okay, so they zeroed in on a protein called V-ATPase. It acts like a tiny pump moving these positively charged hydrogen ions, protons, in and out of cells.
Protons. Now, where have I heard that before? Oh, right, back in high school chemistry class, those little things inside atoms.
Yeah, those are the ones. And they're tiny but mighty important. Every time this V-ATPase pump moves a proton, it's like a little blip of electricity is generated.
Okay, so we've got electricity.
Yeah.
But how does that actually help with regeneration?
Well, all that proton pumping creates this difference in electrical charge between the inside and the outside of the cell, kind of like a tiny battery. And that electrical difference, that voltage, it acts like a blueprint, a set of instructions guiding the cells on how to regenerate. Tells them what types of cells to become, like bone, muscle, skin, you name it, and where to go.
So it's like a map, but an electrical map, showing these cells how to rebuild the missing part.
That's a great way to put it. It's like the electrical signals are saying, okay, you go here, become a muscle cell, you go there, become a bone cell, and so on.
So we've got these tiny electrical maps guiding regeneration. But how did the researchers actually prove this was the case?
Well, they had to get a little creative with their experiments.
I bet scientists always up to something.
Right. So they started by amputating the tails of these tadpoles at different points in their development, to see how it affected the regeneration process.
Makes sense. Control group, experimental group, the whole shebang.
Exactly. And to really test their theory about these bioelectrical signals, they used a drug that blocks the activity of that V-ATPase pump we talked about.
Ah, so they took the batteries out, so to speak.
Precisely. And the results were, well, let's just say, pretty dramatic. When they blocked the V-ATPase, regeneration just stopped. No tail regrowth at all.
Wow, talk about a dead end.
Yeah, it was pretty clear that without that electrical signal, the cells had no idea what to do.
So they basically confirmed that these electrical signals are essential for regeneration.
Yes, but they didn't stop there. They took things a step further, using a special dye that actually allowed them to see these electrical patterns, these blueprints, in the tadpole tails.
But wait a minute, they could actually visualize these electrical blueprints we keep talking about.
They could. It's amazing, right? So they were able to actually watch how these electrical patterns changed over time during regeneration. They saw how, when the V-ATPase pump was working, these beautiful, organized electrical gradients formed, guiding the whole process. But when the pump was blocked, chaos. No organized electrical activity, no regeneration.
That's incredible. They could literally see the difference bioelectricity made.
And get this, they even found a way to rescue regeneration. They took a different type of proton pump, this one from yeast, and introduced it to the tadpoles with the blocked V-ATPase. And what do you know? The yeast pump restored the electrical gradient, and the tadpoles started regenerating their tails again.
So they basically hot-wired those tadpoles. That's some seriously elegant science.
Right.
But what about us? We can't regenerate limbs like these amazing tadpoles. Or can we?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We know that humans, well, we lose our ability to regenerate as we age. We've talked about that before. But this research, it gives us a tantalizing clue as to why that might be.
Go on.
It seems this refractory period, that window of opportunity for regeneration, might be directly linked to changes in these bioelectrical signals. It's like the blueprints start to fade as we get older.
So if we could somehow find a way to turn those blueprints back on, reactivate those electrical signals, could we unlock regeneration in humans?
That's the dream. And while it still feels a bit like science fiction, this research suggests that it's not entirely impossible. Just imagine a future where we could treat spinal cord injuries, regrow limbs lost in accidents, even reverse the effects of aging. This research opens up some really mind-blowing possibilities.
It really does. It makes you think about the potential of bioelectricity in a whole new light, doesn't it?
Absolutely. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to explore, so much more to learn about how we can harness the power of bioelectricity to heal and regenerate.
It's an exciting time for regenerative medicine, that's for sure. If researchers can crack the code of these electrical signals, well, the future of healing could be electrifying. A big thank you to all of you for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of regeneration. If you want to delve even deeper, be sure to check out the full research article. We've got a link for you in the show notes. And here's a little something to ponder. The research also mentions that nerves play a role in regeneration. Could our brains be more involved in regrowing tissue than we ever imagined? Food for thought. Until next time, keep those brain circuits firing.